falling yields will drive gold prices to new nominal highs in the second half of 2024, averaging $2,175 per ounce in Q4. That will be a new record for the gold price. You will not be left behind. You will be part of this because two of the world's largest, most prestigious investment banks are calling for new all-time highs in the gold price. Now, what do you think that means for the silver price? And how can you be involved? I'll share that with you in this video. Also, we'll dissect what these two big banks are predicting. It's fascinating. Let's get started right now. Let's talk about the most important thing right now, and that's you. It's a big deal that you've decided to join me here in the basement. It's a big honor. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribing is free. And if you give this video a thumbs up, that helps get the word out to more and more people because we do need your help. You are part of the silver and gold movement that is taking hold throughout the world. Now, JPMorgan, let's talk about them. Yes, that JPMorgan. When they talk about silver and gold in a positive light, we want to pay attention because they've had a habit of manipulating the price of silver and gold for decades. Listen to this. They said across all metals, we have the highest conviction on a bullish medium-term forecast for both gold and silver over the course of 2024 and into the first half of 2025. Though timing and entry will continue to be critical. That was according to Gregory Shearer. He's the head of base and precious metal strategy at JPMorgan. Fortuna Silver Mines is a global intermediate gold and silver producer. Since 2005, Fortuna's best-in-class management has delivered impressive growth and profits. Fortuna's solid financial position and operational expertise allows for performance in any precious metals price cycle and provides a foundation from which to harvest great profits in more favorable metals markets. Investing in Fortuna is an investment in quality, long-term, sustainable production of in-demand precious and base metals. If you've been around precious metals for any time, you know there's always another side to the story. And with JPMorgan Chase, we know there's really always another side to the story because Mr. Shearer then went on to say this. He said, at the moment, gold still appears to be quite rich relative to underlying rates and foreign exchange rates, and still looks vulnerable to another modest retreat in the near term, as Fed rate cut expectations are now running earlier than our forecast. But Mr. Shearer added that any price pullbacks, pay attention to this, in the coming months should be treated as buying opportunities ahead of a breakout rally, which they expect, that's JPMorgan, to begin mid-2024 as U.S. GDP growth slows down. So he's basically trying to tell us that rates are going to come down, the dollar will go down in value, and the price of gold and silver will go up. But you're asking, how high will it go? Well, he goes on to say this: falling yields will drive gold prices to new nominal highs in the second half of 2024, averaging $2,175 per ounce in Q4. That will be a new record for the gold price, and they expect a quarterly average peak of $2,300 per ounce by Q3 of 2025. What do you think? I think once we get above 2,100, it's going to be smooth sailing up to 2,500 or 2,600. I've heard other top analysts say that same thing. There's nobody waiting up there to sell their gold at those levels. And if you factor in the possibility for more extreme geopolitical turmoil, which is a major driver for the gold price and the silver price, the sky could be the limit. But let's move over to the other big bank, the fancy Swiss bank, UBS. You know, the Swiss bankers. During the 70s and 80s, we heard all about Swiss bank accounts. They know all the secrets. Well, what secrets does UBS know about a coming price surge in the precious metals? Let's say thank you to channel sponsor Pimbex. If you want to get your hands on some gold, silver before the coming price surge that JPMorgan and UBS are predicting, I think Pimbex is the best online bullion dealer. I worked with them before they sponsored Ron's Basement, but their sponsorship makes this video and our live stream events possible. If you check out Pimbex next time you're out shopping for precious metals, I think you'll find what I found. They have the best selection, they have the best service, and their prices are very, very difficult to beat. You really do get more metal for your money. And now let's talk about UBS. Again, this is a big, fancy 150-year-old Swiss banker. What are they saying about the precious metals prices? They point out gold prices have slipped from a year-end rally that we had in 2023. 2024, the beginning of the year, has been hard for us precious metals investors. It's been a bit of a letdown, a bit of a challenge. However, the power of the Fed's policy pivot should not be underestimated. And we talk about this all the time, guys. Take a step back and remember that in December, our friend Jerome Powell pivoted. He started talking about rate cuts. That's the big macro environment in which the U.S. dollar operates, in which interest rates operate, right? Monetary policy. And it's been a major sea change. The tide has turned. However you choose to see it, we're in a new paradigm, a new environment for the silver and gold price. And that's exactly what the guys and gals at UBS are telling us. They say gold prices should close the year, this 2024, as much as 10% above the current levels on the back of potential interest rate cuts, UBS strategist said, despite declines to start the year. A UBS note on Friday described recent price moves as minor. Okay, we can't get, I know it's been a tough start to the year, but we can't get too down about what's gone on. In the context of the precious metals 15% climb through 2023, and said the power of the Federal Reserve's policy pivot should not be underestimated. I think we repeated that. Bullion remains above the psychological level of $2,000 per ounce, the UBS strategist said, forecasting a rise to $2,250 per ounce by the end of the year, despite the potential for some near-term volatility. So that's the situation, guys. Both JPMorgan and UBS are calling for, let's recognize this, new all-time highs in the gold price. JPMorgan specifically talks about silver being very attractive as well. We know once we get the new all-time highs in the gold price that silver will follow. Silver always follows gold, and it will in this circumstance as well. And the world is not becoming a more friendly place. Both of these reports were more focused on pure economic and monetary policy, not really giving any weight to the fact that geopolitics and strife and war throughout the world are one of the biggest supporters for the precious metals prices. The missing piece of the puzzle is you. Yes, we need investors to come back into the precious metals sector. Investment demand with silver in particular has been waning for about the last year. But when investors do come back, and I know you've likely already been doing your part, But when your neighbors, your family members come back into the precious metal sector, it will be the tipping point for the price. It'll create an avalanche of new demand and price increases that likely will leave our heads spinning. I think the future looks bright. What you think is most important, and we want to hear from you. So again, please leave us a comment in the comment section below. It's a big honor that you join us here in the basement. Don't forget the thumbs up. Don't forget to please subscribe to the channel. I'll put up a link to another video, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.